How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yay! Welcome to the Deliberate Millionaire podcast with Rosemary and Oni Knight. This is the place where ambitious spiritual people learn how to manifest and keep the money, the resources they need to live luxuriously in their purpose. Enjoy the podcast. I'll speak to you again afterwards. Hear the words. You choose freedom moment by moment. So surrounded are you by the rules and dogma and traditions of other people, you have to choose to be free moment by moment by moment. To become passive will allow your will to be overtaken by these rules that seem so real. You must choose to engage with life actively or passively, be taken wherever those around you want you to go. I am here, says the divine, guiding you, loving you, directing you, pointing out the mistruths. But even my simple word can be filtered through the noise and nonsense of what you have been taught to believe and perceive as truth. Freedom is an active choice. Freedom from these ideas that keep you trapped and caged. Freedom to be yourself comes when you get very deliberate in listening to my guidance, in choosing not to filter what you hear me say through what you thought was true. It also takes courage to then act on my guidance. I am here always, and my love can embolden you if you will let it. So that was the divine download from sometime last year. Okay. So let's talk about it. Freedom is not passive. You choose freedom moment by moment, says the divine. Okay. So it's not freedom, and I'll explain what I when I'm talking about freedom, what do I mean? And we'll come to that in a moment. But for now, freedom is not something that you choose once. It's not something that you say yes to in your journal in the morning. You know, you do your spiritual ritual and then you write in your journal, I'm going to be free. I'm setting myself free from everything. And then you magically live free forever and ever and ever. No, it's something you choose again and again and again. Okay. Particularly at the start, because whether we like it or not, we live in the physical reality where lots of I even wrote a post about this. Even the way you dress, the way it's like for a while when I was a pharmacist, I didn't allow myself to have different colored hair. Okay, now I don't even have any hair at all. But at that point, I did have hair. But I thought as a pharmacist, I needed to look professional. I could only have brown hair. But then as soon as I stopped being a pharmacist, I went blue because I really wanted blue hair, but I didn't think I could do it. But even that was trained into me, this thinking of what a professional looks like. And it's so subtle how our freedom is kind of taken away from us. And so when you get to whatever age you're at now, and you look at your life, especially if you're someone who feels as if you're not quite where you would like to be, did you notice all the way along how your freedom had been taken away from you with the things you wear, the way you think, the things you allow yourself to do, the work you allow yourself to do, how much money you allow yourself to earn? There's so many rules attached to all of these things that we're not even always aware of anymore because they become so normal. It's the way you've been trained to think that you don't realize. In fact, the email I wrote today was called "You've been house trained," and you didn't realize it. And that's the thing. So when the divine talks about freedom here, he's telling you that you need to, or they are telling you that you need to choose freedom again and again and again, particularly at the start, because you're so used to being in bondage and you call it responsibility. You call it, I'm an adult now, I have to do certain things. According to who? When last did you question what rules you are actually going along with? So freedom isn't passive, as I say, it is chosen moment by moment. Because, as I say, you are surrounded by these rules, by dogma, by tradition. You're surrounded by other people's ideas of what life is supposed to look like, or what money is supposed to mean, what good people are supposed to do, what spiritual people are supposed to do, what responsible adults are supposed to put up with or to tolerate, and what your purpose even is supposed to look like. Yeah. And because these ideas are everywhere, they don't even feel like ideas. They feel like truth. They feel like common sense. They feel like, oh, maturity. It's just the way it is. And the divine says again, so surrounded are you by the rules and dogmas and traditions of other people, you have to choose to be free moment by moment by moment. Again and again, I say the same stuff. Okay. If you become passive, guess what? Something else takes over. To become passive will allow your will to be overtaken by these rules that seem so real, says the divine. And that is why a lot of ambitious spiritual people remain stuck in lives that they don't want to be in, because they became passive. They stopped actively choosing moment by moment to be free. They let the rules choose for them, their family expectations or financial fear choose for them, or religious conditioning or cultural tradition. You let old definitions of responsibility choose for you, or guilt, or what will people think of me? Oh my God, what will people think about what I'm doing? And so that's how the physical reality starts to choose for you, when you are supposed to be creating the physical reality, but actually you then start to react to the physical reality instead of choose for yourself. And the divine goes on to say, you must choose to engage with life actively or passively be taken wherever those around you want you to go. Okay? If you do not actively engage with your own life, if you do not choose freedom, then it's not that life is suddenly going to stop and wait for you to wake up again. No, other people's expectations will fill the space. Other people's rules will fill the space. Fear will fill the space. Weird dogma that you haven't questioned in God knows how long will fill the space. And slowly, without you even noticing, you'll be taken somewhere you never actually wanted to go. In this community, we deliberate millionaires, as I like to call us, we you probably did live as a follower for a long time as you supported everybody else's vision, but you're starting to wake up and realize that you may have wasted a lot of time waiting to be discovered, when you really just needed to set yourself free and create the life you wanted now. So we're done with theoretical freedom, just talking about it, thinking about it. No, we're done with just saying, "Oh, I'm grateful for what I have." And of course, we're grateful for what we have, but sometimes people use gratitude as a reason not to do anything. It's like, "Oh, I don't want to appear ungrateful. At least my life is okay." I mean, have you seen some of the people they're living was? Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm not saying don't be grateful, but I am saying don't settle. You are meant to be free. And here's my when I think about freedom, it's the freedom to choose what you want to do, where you want to do it, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it, how you want to do it. The freedom to decide whether you're going to be in a job or not to be in a job, whether you're going to be in a relationship or not in a relationship. The freedom to decide how your purpose work is expressed. The freedom to create money through your gifts if you want to, your wisdom, your skills, your expertise, your creativity to be fully expressed. The freedom to live a life that actually feels like you. The freedom to be financially abundant, to be spiritually connected, to be free emotionally, deeply fulfilled, drenched in love. That freedom and that desire for freedom, it's within all of us. But then people get passive. People get passive. To me, whilst we're here in this physical reality, allowing yourself to create as much money as possible is one of the main routes to freedom. Let's be honest about it. As spiritual people, sometimes we don't want to talk about money. Oh my gosh, it's not just about the money. It's not just about the money. Yes, it isn't just about the money, but let's also be very clear. We're here in the physical reality. Money makes things a little bit easier. Okay, so a lot of people who say, "Oh, it's not about money. I don't want to just think about the money." Blah blah blah. A lot of people do think a lot about the money whilst they're telling themselves that they're not going to be motivated by money. Let us not be those kind of spiritual people. Let us be those who recognize that, yeah, in the world that we live in, the world that we've chosen to be in, allowing yourself to desire what you desire is a good thing. It's a choice towards freedom. In order for you to, it's like the freedom to choose whether you're going to be in a job or not in a job. You can only choose that if you've created some kind of money somewhere. Because yes, as much as we don't want to be all about, we don't want to be limited by, oh, I'm trying to be an adult now and I have to be responsible. You do have responsibilities, okay? So I'm not saying that we don't have responsibilities. So you're not going to suddenly, forget that you have children, or forget that you have a partner, or forget any of that stuff. But I am saying that there's a call inside of you to to be free. And a part of that freedom is going to include allowing yourself to make as much money as enables that freedom to have more than enough. And that's part of, yeah, it's part of the work I do, definitely, is to support people in manifesting the money, the resources they need to live luxuriously in your purpose. Because I believe it is your divine right to do so if you will choose it. Now, some of the rules, some of the stuff that we've learned, particularly as spiritual people, can get in the way of you allowing yourself the totality of freedom that is possible for you. But that's part of what we're talking about here. It's time to set yourself free from some of those ideas that do not support you in moving forward. You want options, and sometimes having more than enough money gives you those options. You want to feel purposeful. Some of you are trapped in work that doesn't feel purposeful because you need to pay your bills. But that's because you've also said to yourself, it's not possible for me to do what I would like to do and make money. I don't think that's true. And that is bondage. That is bondage. Bondage to an idea that somebody kind of planted inside of you, and now you accept it as truth. If you believe in some way that more money will create more freedom in your life, but then you also believe that money is spiritually, then you're going to trap yourself because you won't allow yourself to create the money that you want. If you believe that money is going to make you greedy, you're not going to allow yourself to create the money that you want. If you believe that money will help you leave what no longer fits, but then you also believe that a good spiritual people should be content, a good spiritual person should be content with less, then you again trap yourself. Freedom, setting yourself free from some of these ideas is taking the time to question what you are believing so that you can step into greater freedom. Okay? Some of the rules and ideas that we have around money, around purpose, around freedom includes things like being loyal means that I cannot outgrow the people around me. That is another way that people kind of hold themselves trapped. I remember speaking to somebody on the phone a little while ago, and one of the reasons why she wasn't allowing herself to live in her purpose was because she was worried about leaving her family behind. And when I say family, I don't mean her children or something that that she's responsible for, but I mean her extended family. She didn't want to be too different from her extended family, and it's only as we were speaking that she realized that this was holding her back. For some of you, yeah, the loyalty to the idea of my parents only earned this much, I should never earn more than that, and it's not always conscious. Your loyalty to the idea that, okay, well, my parents paid a heck of a lot of money to educate me and put me through my education, and now I should stay stuck in this thing that I no longer want to do. Is that freedom? No. I've talked about, wanting more money makes me greedy. Is that freedom? No. Or if you are in business and you're not charging appropriately, and so you're struggling to make your business work, and you're telling yourself, oh, well, I cannot charge people because, I serve people, so I'm not supposed to charge them too much, and blah, blah, blah. I remember, again, somebody else I was speaking to, because, yes, I've been doing this for a while, and so almost every weird bondage I've come across, but somebody who had helped people who were not able to have children, but then she could not pay her bills, and she was being evicted from her house, even though she had such a powerful gift. But she had convinced herself that she was supposed to give it all away for as little as possible or for nothing at all. And so she was in the position now where she couldn't even take care of her own children whilst helping other people have children, bringing them such joy and everything, and telling herself that she was not allowed to charge for it. I remember somebody else who helps people with choosing whether they're going to get divorced or stay in a relationship. So a relationship kind of coach person who didn't want to charge very much for it because she did, when people are in this relationship conflict, they really just need the help and blah, 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 which, yes, of course they do. But guess what? If they don't work with, I had to tell this person, if they don't work with you, they're going to pay God knows how many thousands to a lawyer to get divorced. Why should they not pay you to help them not to avoid that if necessary? And it's some of the thinking sometimes behind some of the thoughts, as I say, especially if you're not questioning them, they seem like truth until either somebody points out to you, and this is why I say to people, sometimes you may be intelligent and capable and everything. However, if if you if you don't know, if you can't see and you're not aware that you're thinking in this crazy way, then you need help. Especially when you're trying to step away from your familiar place, you need support. So, yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Some of you need to have a conversation with me. I do this money manifestation mastery and strategic divine guidance private consultation. Book it. If you want to find out more about it, you're going to need to message me the word consult, basically, and then I will get the link up over to you, and then we'll have a look and see what is holding you back, and then decide whether we want to work together and blah 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 to accelerate you in the direction of where you want to go. But there's so many of these rules and weird ideas that people have that stop you from moving forward. I'll read out some more. That you have to prove your worth through struggle. And so if you believe that, you will find that life is full of struggle. And you will think that it's just the way it is, isn't it? You have to struggle for everything. Why? Why? Why do you have to struggle for everything? And these are some of these ideas are just ideas that we just take on as well. That's just the way it is, isn't it? Why? Why? Okay. If it comes easily to me, it's a scam, or I need to look why look for what is the catch, or it's not valuable if it comes easily to me. If the path is too simple, then I must be missing something. Let's look for something more complicated. You should be grateful for whatever you have and stop wanting more. Your family must come first, even if they're draining your life force. Your duty is more important than your calling. Being responsible means staying where you are needed. Being kind means don't have firm boundaries. Being spiritual means you should always look serious and speak with a serious tone. And you shouldn't want luxury. Of course not. Of course not. Being humble means staying small. Being practical means ignoring any intuitive nudges that you have because you need to be practical and do practical things and blah, 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 blah. Being safe means staying in the familiar, even if it's draining you. Being a good person means sacrificing your freedom. Being accepted means do not become too much, because when people say you're too much, that's a bad thing. The divine is more pleased with your suffering than your fulfillment. And some of these ideas, again, as I keep saying, you don't always know they're under the surface, but you can see the fruit of them in your life. But unless you are aware, you don't realize what is causing that. You just think it's just life. It's just the way it is. I've tried everything and nothing works for me. If you've tried everything from the wrong foundation, it doesn't matter what you do. You can work your ass off and you'll still keep getting the same wrong results because you're building on a stupid foundation and you don't realize it. I was brought up Christian and Catholic and reading the Bible and all of this, and there were certain ideas such as your heart is deceitful above all things, which makes you distrust yourself. And you don't question it. You just accept it because, oh, well, it's in my sacred text. So don't question anything that's in my sacred text. Why? Why should you not question? Have you questioned why you shouldn't question? If it is truth, will it not stand up to your questioning? Is it bringing you freedom or is it leaving you in bondage? These ideas, they don't just sit harmlessly inside of you. They are shaping your decisions. They're shaping whether you procrastinate or don't procrastinate, your hesitation, your pricing, your visibility, your ability to receive what you say you want. They shape how much freedom you allow yourself to have. They shape what you call possible or impossible. And even some of y'all that say, well, I'm listening to divine guidance. Even divine guidance you can skew it to sound like what you're expecting to hear. And you won't know you're doing it, which is why sometimes, the divine has to point you in the direction of getting help from somebody else, because sometimes you just can't hear it through your own conditioning about what you're expecting to hear. The divine says, I'm here guiding you, loving you, directing you, pointing out the mistruths, but even my simple word can be filtered through the noise and nonsense of what you have been taught to believe and perceive as truth. Again, same thing about what I just said. So you say you want direction and you want clarity and you want to know the next step, but when it comes, you're filtering it. So the divine is saying to you, oh, move, 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 move. And you're saying, oh, no, that sounds irresponsible. Oh, the divine says, charge more. No, that's greedy. The divine says, leave this. No, that's selfish. Oh, speak this. Yeah, but who do I think I am to say this stuff? Rest. Oh, no, I'm lazy. Oh, no, that would be lazy of me to rest right now. Rise up. No, people will not like me anymore. Don't want to do that. Okay. The divine says, be yourself. You say, no, that's dangerous. So, and that's why it's not enough to say you're listening to the divine, because sometimes what are you listening through? What is the filter that you're hearing your intuition through? Is it through love or is it through fear? Are you listening through truth? Do you even know what truth is anymore? Or is it conditioning? Especially when you're listening to people who aren't even doing the thing that you would like to do, or who have put down their own vision and their own dreams and are now encouraging you to do exactly the same thing. The divine is clear and is always speaking, but are you hearing clearly? Do you know for sure? Do you know for sure? As I said, this is why sometimes you just need help. Okay, you need help to break free of ideas that you have just considered to be normal, especially if you've been struggling to get free of a certain area in your life and you're finding that you're in bondage there. Then honeys, stop waiting. We're in the second half of 2026. How many more months, weeks, years are you going to give it before you finally realize, yes, though I am powerful, though I am capable, though I am intelligent, though I am all of this stuff, I am struggling in this particular area, and there's something I'm missing and I need to see because I want to set myself free. And then you get help. There's no mistake about you listening to this right now. It is because you've been asking for support. And sometimes the only way the divine can get through to you is by putting you in front of someone like me right now. Okay? Okay. So the divine goes on to say freedom is an active choice, freedom from these ideas that keep you trapped and caged. Freedom to be yourself comes when you get very deliberate in listening to my guidance, in choosing not to filter what you hear me say through what you thought was true. So yes, it does require that deliberate listening, not casual listening, not listening only when it agrees with with your comfort zone, okay? Not only when it agrees with what fear is telling you to do. Here, do your best to hear as clearly as possible. And if you're not sure that you are hearing, get support. Come, as I said, to the Money Manifestation Mastery and Strategic Divine Guidance private consultation. You just need to message me the word consult and I'll get the link to you. The divine also goes on to say it also takes courage to act on my guidance. And that courage, though, I like to, in fact, when I'm speaking to clients, as I tell you now, as you lean deeply into the divine and you start to realize just how loved you are, you become more courageous. But when you are living based on what you see in the physical reality and you're scared by every single change that happens in there, then of course you're not going to be courageous to try anything. So you're definitely not free. Freedom does help you feel, or you feel courageous and then you feel free, and then you set yourself free, or the other way around, doesn't matter. It's kind of a cycle here. Freedom, courage kind of work together. Confidence, freedom, all of that stuff together. And as you lean deeply on the divine, as you deepen that connection to the divine and know that the divine is your source, as well as you being your own source too, instead of trusting the physical reality, you will find that you're more courageous to go after all the things that you actually want. Divine love does embolden you. The divine goes on to say, I'm here always, and my love can embolden you if you will let it. Okay, so it's not that you'll never be afraid. It's when you know that your life is built very firmly on divine connection, then you're not so afraid anymore. That sets you free. That sets you free. Okay? It sets you free to tell the truth, to question the rules, to stop pretending that this cage that you're living in right now is the only way to go forward and it makes you holy. No, it doesn't. Leaning on the divine gives you that courage to choose freedom moment by moment by moment, like we started by talking about. It gives you that freedom to create money in the way that you would prefer to create money. It gives you that freedom to live your purpose, to be yourself, to stop shrinking to fit anybody else's ideas of what is right or what is whatever, because you start to listen to the divine voice within you. You are called to more, and you know it. You are called to more, and you know it. Set yourself free from the cage that you have chosen to stay within. You don't have to stay there any longer. Once upon a time, you may have felt that you had to live a certain way, but hear my voice now saying there is a way for you to create the life that you're meant for, to do it profitably, to have more than enough financial abundance to support it, but you have to be willing to let go of the old ideas first. When I talk about letting go, I'm not saying make any sudden moves here and drop everything unless you feel this big voice from the heavens saying you must. But for most of y'all, it isn't about blowing up your life. It's about being open to the fact that there is a way for you to live free and to transition gently from the life of bondage, really, that you're living currently. Freedom is your divine right, but you have to choose it over and over and over again. Notice what doesn't feel free in your life right now. And instead of accepting it as that's just the way life is, no. Decide that actually you're going to have the life you want. It is your choice. Okay? It's an active choice. So choose it moment by moment by moment. And now we're going to bring this to a close with the love prayer, if I can find it quickly enough to do it. And if not, then we won't. We won't do that. I keep meaning to make sure it's already open, and I forget until the last possible moment. And I suddenly think, oh, I'm supposed to do that. Okay, I found it. So let's open that up and see if I can share that on the screen so that you guys who get the screen bit here should hopefully be able to see it. If I can find it, give me a second here. There we go. Okay, but let's go to the beginning. So let's end by saying the love prayer together. Your love, this is you speaking to the divine, and say it with me. Your love dissolves all layers of doubt. Your love dissolves all layers of fear. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me clear. Your love, move. Oh no, I jumped over one. Your love dissolves all layers of guilt. Your love dissolves all layers of shame. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me in the game. Your love dissolves all layers of regret. Your love dissolves all layers of despair. Your love restores my hope, my peace, my joy. Your love restores my youth and my years. Your love dissolves all resentment. Your love dissolves all hate. Your love dissolves any bitter root within me. Your love rebuilds my trust and my faith. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love flows freely through me right now, harmonizing and adjusting. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love makes me magnetic to the desires of my heart. Take a moment right now to consider the desires of your heart, to consider your goals, to consider the life you would like to create, the free, fulfilled, financially abundant life. See it, see yourself living that life. Be the person who has created it. Feel it for a moment there. Allow love energy just to energize that vision within you right now. I feel your love propelling me forward into greater and greater financial prosperity right now. Money, wealth, riches are flooding into my life from everywhere and in great abundance with ease, simplicity, and speed. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, and that brings us to the end of today's Spirit Speaks experience. It's been a pleasure, as always, sharing this stuff with you. Go forth and prosper. There is so much more available to you. Allow yourself to create it. Until the next time, my loves. Bye. And to take the learning, the empowerment to a whole different level, the link will be around here on how to book the Money Manifestation Mastering and Strategic Divine Guidance private consultation, where we'll figure out what is the best next step for you. The link will be around here. Much amazing love. Go forth and prosper.